same time, I was going to drive crazy. When the public says that it's very pleasurable to be an artist, I disagree with that. It's very, very hard. Actually, as an artist who has to earn a living, I have to go out to work, then I have to come home, and I have to do my hard work, because I need to do it. I made this piece in 1972. It's a very strange piece, and it's made of plexiglass. Inside is some love letters that I tore up. Quand je ne peux pas réaliser mes rêves, je fais des images. When I cannot realize my dream, I make images. And then I have half of the dream.
As I got older, I had to do something to express the years that I've had, and that has been many. With Marguerite's help, I can express what I feel, because she's not the kind of a person that you're going to meet too often. She really is a person with quality, and she's very dedicated, and she considers the senior citizens as people.
How do you like it? How do you like it? Yeah? Ooh, what you are doing, how beautiful it is.
Baby in a carrot.
Baby in a carrot? Oh,
I
my God.
was teaching in a day nursery, 3, 4, and 5 years kid. And the director was so impressed. She said, 3 years kid cannot concentrate more than 15 minutes. And I taught them the past 6 months more than 1 hour every day. Okay. And 65 kids a day I was teaching, individually. So how could it be possible? If you give them spirit, they can flourish by themselves? That's the answer I got it from them.
Magic!
There are many things that art exposes children to, and one of them is an abstract approach to problem solving without the tension of specific numbers and facts and the tension of tests, and that it's an approach to working things out in a way from within, which is the most pleasurable way. And so it's the most natural way to develop your mind, your coordination, your ability to pay attention, your ability to formulate ideas, and so forth. And for that reason, I think art is one of the most essential things in the curriculum.
But anyhow, this is probably the most traditional way of working. I mean, I love the smell of oil paint. And all the years that I was working with acrylic, I really missed it. When the CityLore Art Project started, nobody quite knew what would happen with it. And at that point, it seemed like another art lottery, like CAPS or anything else. A lot of surviving as an artist has to do with the art lotteries. And then at first, it seemed it had no particular direction. The whole issue of what an artist is in society hadn't really been defined. I mean, what the artists are supposed to do for society is not nearly as clear as what policemen or teachers or anybody else does. What kind of art could be made which would really improve the social situation? So one of the most interesting possibilities that came out of this was that the Port Authority was under community pressure to do something with a couple subway stations in Manhattan that were pretty much run down. Now the Christopher Street subway station, it's an old station, it was all broken up architecturally, has very peculiar angles. It looks a little bit like the catacomb. And the outside of the building looks a little bit like Greenwich Village theaters. And the idea was to open up the canopy and to reglaze this, so that when you came out of the station, you could see what the weather was like. So the thing should be a very nice environment, and it's going to be of considerable public use. Think of this as a wedge into opening up possibilities for artists. I would love to see artists be involved in the design of the West Side Highway. I would love to see artists be involved in architecture from the start and not at the end. It's much better in a way to be able to make the art and to have the opportunities to do it this way. Like I would have never designed a subway station. I love it.
He made me feel like a peach in winter, a precious fruit for delicate squeezing, a special nutrient to be ingested one infinitesimal morsel at a time, each bite savored with unrestrained relish, a prize fruit, nature's own, succulent and dripping with a nectar to be sucked oh so slowly till the juice is all gone.
About time that this country recognized their artists. You know, I mean the creative artists, because we are actually like the backbone of anything innovative is coming from the creative artists from any field or aspect. You know, it's the guy down here who comes out with the idea that maybe at this time is not commercially feasible, but sometime in the near distant future, it may be exactly what's happening or what's needed or what's called for. You know, so what I'm saying is, in essence, art is the highest level of any culture. You know, and like it just so happens that this music that we're playing, jazz, right, is loved and respected all over the planet Earth.
And every week he showed up at 5 o'clock on Mondays. and there were 4 of us studying with him.
You could almost say that's what 5 o'clock with so stars.
Right, and he showed me everything that he does, that he performs. That's very unusual in tap dancing, because tap dancers don't show you their stuff. So to show us all the routines that he and his friends do, like the Bill Robinson and the Shim Sham and all that stuff, is a very, you know, great feat of feet. We applied independently without knowing that each other was applying. And it was real funny because he had his audition in the morning and I had mine in the afternoon by the same people. And they asked me if my choreography was original, and I said, well, it's mine, plus it's a lot of people I've studied with, and I mentioned him. And so they connected us. And then they, you know, made us like a company this year for CETA. So most of the CETA jobs we've done this year have been together.
Circle and as reverse. All 1, 2, 3, 4.
CETA came along just at that point. I was really without a job and just really kind of desperate, actually, because I didn't know where I was going to work. And I was afraid that I would have to give up dance completely. And what's been nice this year with CETA, that it's allowed me to work here at Basement Workshop and to really begin teaching classes and getting other students in the community to come. And what they do is important. I think that's where a lot of Asians feel they're not important enough. Because even the culture says whatever you should never do anything for yourself. But so much of that culture is in all of us that we tend to stand back rather than say, hey, this is what I want to do. And, hey, you can do it, you know. You just have to put the time in and work at it and just do it.
Come up. 5, 6, 7, 8, and round the way 2, 3, 4.
From what I see from my work now, it's more trying to understand my Japanese heritage and the modern heritage, the Western heritage, and to try to bring those 2 things together in some kind of harmony. And I think that's really where my choreography is going. In Japanese culture, there's a particular style called the no dance, and the whole sense of time is so different. It takes you into a whole nother world.
I feel somehow artist's life and his work is one. Not should be or shouldn't be, it is. Artist create for himself. Somebody like it from the society is good. If they don't like it, it's also fair to the artist because it's sad, but he doesn't stop. About 10 years I'm working on smoke. Nobody think about smoke, how could be beautiful, smoke could be dynamite, could be unique. It came in my mind that whatever I traveled in Indian temples, their wall is full of thousands of years lamp burning smoke. I watched it and I said, wow, how beautiful. No color in it and thick layer of smoke, carbon. Why not if I use it, that will be my way of expressing. The media will be completely mine, and in the same time it will be today's new expression of old ideas. Smoke can be dynamite media. It can blow up everything in a creative way.
I will have the artist evaluation forms, and that's really what I've been waiting for. So that'll be ready for you this afternoon, and I'll write a note concerning how it's to be followed through on. I think we have an obligation to them. They care very much, many of them, about having you see their work, visit them, have some relatedness to them, and I think that that's part of what we really do want to provide.
I'm not exactly sure how we're going to pinpoint them onto giving us what they said they were going to give us. You know, what do you do? How do you make them identify something else?
Well,
besides implying it or saying that
I don't think you can make him. I think, though, that the thing to do is to make it clear to him, though, that you fully understand that that's not adequate and that that will have to go into, again, his evaluation, because you're going to be asked for quality and quantity on self-initiated work on the evaluation, and he will simply get a low score in that regard. He's only, and you can make in your comments so that he knows about it when he receives a copy of that evaluation that he showed you one large-scale painting only. You feel that's an inadequate product. This is a federal job program. It's very tricky.
I'm very happy that I am on CETA, and I think the CETA program is a good program, but it is a small step to help the artist. I think there has to be many other steps done for the artist.
I think that this program has a tremendous potential of providing art as education, art as therapy, some art to a limited degree, art in public space too. I think in the long run what we should be striving for is a much more expanded type of public art and public involvement in art, and I think that eventually this will require an artist union, the type of which we had during the 30s.
CETA Artists Organization is an attempt to pull together all the artists in the city that are presently being funded through this program. Now there are 680. It is an attempt to get them to talk to each other, to recognize their mutual needs, their mutual responsibilities, and to form them into a political constituency that the people in the city will begin to recognize and have to deal with.
What I'm talking about is really developing a community of artists, a union or something like that, a supporting mechanism where artists aren't cutting each other's throats but are out there together to get their work out and to have people be able to look at it, to be able to take their eyes away from the French fry ads and look at this and have it mean something.
These people are coming and going. What they get? They don't get nothing. They only go to Nathan's and job. New York is not like about. I love New York. It's a beautiful place to live, beautiful place to work. This is the king city of art, especially the Times Square, where I have chosen past 9 years to live. Let it bombastic volcanic thing happen here in Times Square, right this island. I'm shouting, I'm getting mad and crazy because nobody thinks Times Square has very beautiful thing to give. Give me a chance, give other artists a chance. We can paint, we can sculpt, we can make music here. and then people will change. Do you understand that what I'm talking about? I love New York. I love New York.
I think most artists who have made their life one of a painter, a creative person, they want their full time, period. You know, CETA's great. All right, I've had it. WPA is great. But you're not the master of your fate, so to speak, when you're employed, if you're an artist.
A program like this and the desires of the artist are not really going to mesh ideally at any point, because the program wants products. They want a certain kind of visibility. They want things to happen that they can put numbers on. And the artist wants freedom. And somehow both sides are going to have to compromise for it to be a viable program.
Government support of the arts is not a happy business. I think that there's all of the problems inherent in having government support of anything. But I sort of say to myself, and the argument that I have with people all the time, that it has been this way forever. The Medicis were government, and the church was government, and Pericles was government, and that in fact, art is an expensive thing, and is either a luxury for a very small upper class, which it has been throughout history, or it reaches the masses through some form of government like the church, and you either have one or the other. And in a way, this is a way to democratize art.
He said that he loved me, but it was just a lie. He said that he loved me, but it was just a lie. And if it wasn't 'cause my mama taught me how to see, and no one in this universe can keep me from being me. And if you ain't giving me all of your love, you ain't giving me nothing. You ain't giving me nothing I can use. You ain't giving me nothing that I need. You ain't giving me nothing at all. And I need it all, yeah. I need it all, yeah. And I need it all, yeah. I need your
dime for that song? Yabba-dabba-dabba-ba-ba-ba. Brother, can you spare a dime? Living in Harlem is hard, you know, try to survive this thing. This used to be one of the great sweet blocks of New York. Now, this house should be a landmark. U.B. Blake stayed here. Dizzy Gillespie, Dinah Washington, the Berry brothers. Any of the great black names, if they didn't live here, they'd come here. It was a community, really a community house. It was. They would stay with Cookie's mother. Yeah, but if our room was gone, somebody would find a place for them to stay. And by being near the Apollo, they love to stay here. If you could make it here, they say, you could make it anywhere in the world. The first time we played here, we had come from Chicago. It brings back memories. It's a lot of history here. So much of this is my blood in here. I'm just hoping that, not vaudeville, I just hope that we can keep this, you know, keep seeing Harlem come back to life. So much happened here, you know. Like I said, so much blood, so much tears, sweat is done here, you know. So many hopes.
We have the word musician, we have magician. See, there's a link between the two. See, music is used to heal people. It can make people create riots and stuff, you know.
You feel your music is positive force?
Oh, I think my music is positive, right? You know, performing at prisons and different kind of environments, schools and whatnot, you know.
Has it made you more employable?
Employable?
As a musician?
Well, see, being a musician, you're automatically unemployable.
Jazz is American music. That's it. You know, jazz is everything. That's where it's at. You know, because that's what these people need. A little jazz in their life, and not, you know, because everything they like around here is the thing, you know, that hip shaking music, and that's not where it's at. You need some music for the head, for the mind, music for the soul. You know, that's what jazz is all about. Because it is soul soothing music. I loved it.
See, America is in a real state right now, 1978 mediocrity. Everything is real mediocre. And until people really dig the values and find out that the value isn't money, you know, this is going to continually going to go down, you know. Their value's in the wrong place.
Quantity as opposed to quality.
Well, really based on paper. The whole scene is based on paper. You know.
What's your scene based on?
Music. Tenor saxophone.
I started in 1929. I was with an act called Mammy and Her Picks. We went all over the world, and I met my partner. He was with us, so we formed an act of our own called Cook and Brown. We were headlining over Basie. It don't mean nothing. I was Kiss Me Kate 4 years. What did that mean? That's society, and you know, when you get old, they don't hire at 65. They fire at 65. Nobody wants you when you're old and gray. There'll be some change. Give my regards to Broadway. I told him, at my age, I'm glad to be anywhere. How every dance that's done today was taught by children out at play. Sitting in the barn, stars the weary, than I have ever named you. Oh, step back, boy, don't you get weary. All those things you say and you come on, boy, put your arms around me. Say a little sister, won't you marry me? Now I can do a funny step.
Oh, you can't do a funny step.
The hell I can't do a funny step.
Well, go ahead and do your funny step.
It used to be that people lived in communities. People don't live in communities so much anymore, but this has been that kind of feeling.
It's absolutely changed my life. I've written poetry for a long, long time, and I've supported myself as a typist because I know how to spell and punctuate. And it was getting me to the point where I didn't know why I was doing anything. It was just very discouraging. And this year, it's been like being paid for being myself in a more expansive way.
I take this check every 2 weeks and I cash it and I pay my bills with it. I don't have to worry about paying my rent, my phone bill, and my electric and gas bill.
I know that the hot item on the grapevine is the participant salaries. The situation on this is as follows. The new legislation mandates a decrease in the overall average in New York City and in every other locality. All right, it means that there must be an average of all CETA salaries in New York City, artists, city lines, social service lines of $8,000. Yeah?
What I cannot understand is the way we're used as pawns. Nobody gives us a straight answer. Everybody thinks we're going to be around, and the hell with us. And I just think that's unfair. From the city, from the federal government, partly from CCF for taking it.
I would like to say that we share your frustration 100%. And what we are finding is that the whole procedure in the city has changed, and we're just running up against walls all the time. We are fighting for you.
I would like to have a even nebulous idea as to what the rationale is behind a $2,000 pay cut next year, according to the law or the documents that you are now dealing with.
Okay, legally, CETA money is to hire the hardcore unemployed. During the last 5 years, particularly municipalities have used it to supplement their budget. And I think it also is geared a little bit at us, too, because we have hired, quote, professionals and not the hardcore unemployed, the unemployable unemployed. That's why they're trying to do it. Now, we're talking about legislation, which is huge, which has got mammoth amounts of dollars, and we're no bigger than a pinhead in terms of the relationship, our relationship to that. It will sweep across, it will make generalizations, and you have to live with it.
There are politicians say that what's needed is more policemen and so on, but they have no idea that everything they look at has been made by an artist, practically, in architecture or in or what they read and writing and the museums where they see the paintings, which makes life worth living. It's utterly impossible to have a program like this work for 1 year. I mean, it has to be many, many years that these people are able to have a certain amount of security and do their work. Unless this program goes on much longer, it won't leave a dent in society. And it's too bad.
Keep CETA working. Artists need jobs. Keep CETA working.
We want Mayor Koch and the people of New York to know that artists need and want jobs. We're willing to work in the communities. We've done it. They value us. And not to give us jobs is killing art for people.
Keep CETA working. Artists need jobs.
I felt very bad about it, and we all signed a petition trying to get her back here. I know if she don't, there's a lot of pupils are gonna be lost here, you know, because it relaxes you, it takes away that tension. When you're doing your art, you forget all about medication and all, and it extended my life. Well, I'm 84 now. Maybe I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for art, because when I retired, I really didn't know what to do. And I went in for art lesson, and I've been at it ever since. I'd really be lost without it.
I'm terribly disappointed, and I'm going to try my best to get her back, because we all feel the same way. I'm not alone in this. And I'm going to try to go down. I wrote a letter. I'm going down to CETA, and I'll do my best and fight until she comes back.
The government doesn't have especially to support artists, but the government has to provide the member of his society with some work. And it's not really artists who are exploited, it's poor people who are exploited. And I'm part of the poor people. And since I'm an artist, I'm a poor artist, I'm part of the poor people, and I'm exploited like other poor people are exploited.
Isla solitaria bella en mi cadena de sufrimiento, nada de ti encuentro en las esquinas de valores muertos. Island only pearl on my chain of suffering, like on my chain of life, the pearl, the jewel, the culture. Nothing of you can I find on corners where there are no values, because from you, from the culture, I find my values.